James Feeney. Welcome to or back to my channel. Today I'm here with a VR, as the title of this video will tell you, and it's to the Hermit's Cave, or Simon at the Hermit's Cave, and he has released a video entitled Get to Know Your Tarot Tubers A to Z. This is a great tag in my opinion. He's said that he has released it more so that people in the tarot community can get to know each other, and it's for those who maybe are a little bit newer to the tarot community. That would be myself, and so that people may get to know us through answering a series of questions, 26 questions to be specific, all based on the 26 letters in the English alphabet. So there's a question for each, and I will get into that. Also, go check out his video, which I will link, and I've watched a few and they've all been very interesting, and it's been nice to get to know a little bit about some people in the tarot community and discover some people that I hadn't yet, because I watch a lot of these people that are more established and that I've watched for a while, even before I made videos. So I know them, but discovering new people is always nice, and just clicking the actual hashtag on his video and seeing what came up was a cool way for me to discover some new people as well. So I will get right into the questions. So first we have is age. I am 23 years old, so a bit of a youngster, I know. Next we have book, favorite, and you know what, I'm going to get out the materials that are applicable to certain questions, so that way I have them here. Okay, so I'm back, and I have the materials applicable surrounding me. So favorite book, and as far as picking a book, a favorite of anything of all time, that is something that sends me into this space in my head that seems almost like I can't compute. So I tend to shy away from questions that ask me to name a favorite of anything in terms of it being an all-time favorite. What I will say is that my current favorite book, and a recent read for me that it's just sticking with me, it's one of the best books I've read in a very long time, in my opinion. Well, it's a book for me. So, Real Magic, Ancient Wisdom, Modern Science, and a Guide to the Secret Power of the Universe by Dr. Dean Radin. I mentioned this in my January favorites. This one just has given me so much to think about. If you guys are at all interested in magical practice, and more so consciousness, reality, magic as we can somewhat measure it, or viewing it as a form of science that's not yet fully understood, and things like that. I'm not sure exactly how I want to describe it, but I really love this book. His ideas are really trailblazing in a way. I know that he's not the first to bring up some of these arguments, but in some it seems as though he is. And he's pretty fearless and a pioneer in terms of this field of parapsychology, and really pushing the bounds of what is acceptable and professional and scientific, and what is deemed credible. So I really enjoyed this book, and I would like to read more books by him, and I'm in a depth year, so we'll see. But yeah, this one is my current favorite and a recent favorite. So next we have career, what you wanted to be when you were a kid and what it actually is now. So I'm rather young. I'm only 23, and I just graduated from the university that I went to. So as it stands now, I'm not officially in, say, a set career or a career of sorts. I'm doing a lot of different things and still trying to figure things out. So, well, I guess I'm covering what it is now first. What I'd actually like to do is, that's also a good question. I mean, I read tarot, so that's something that I do. I would like to continue to do that, and for that to potentially be the only thing that I do at some point, but I'm open to a bunch of different possibilities. As a kid, I was really into, I had a few different paths, and one that I'm still somewhat tied to is writing. I went to school for English literature, and I would really enjoy to be an author of some sort, more so for fiction, although I'm not necessarily limiting myself to that, but that's something that's still on my list and that I would like to do. And that's something that I thought of as a kid, and I followed that, and I was always somebody who was enjoying their literature classes and geared towards that, and that's why I went to school primarily for that. And what else? There was a time when I wanted to be like a genetic engineer. I don't know why. I always have been really interested in different sciences, primarily biology, so and zoology and things to do with animals and living life. So that's an area that I've always been really passionate about, and I thought I was going to be a vet because I really liked animals, and I volunteered in a pet shop when I was a kid, and that dashed that hope because it was not very fun. So that was an unpleasant experience, but that, long story short, that's where I was, that's where I am, and I worked in a backwards order, but you get the point. A dream that I have, or I guess a dream. So my dream would be to be doing what I love, of course. The idea of doing anything all day as a form of work that doesn't fulfill me and doesn't coalesce, or wow, my voice, that doesn't integrate the things that I'm passionate about is not a fun idea for me at all. So I guess my dream would be to be doing things that I enjoy, like writing and reading tarot and working with people and being in a more conscious, spiritually minded, but also idea heavy and theoretical and things like that type of field. I know that that's extremely vague, and the dream that I would have would be to somewhat be doing that potentially. I'd like to be my own boss. I don't really enjoy working under somebody, and I have issues with authority, so that's one thing. And I would like to just be comfortable and not really be feeling as though resources are super tight, so that would be nice as well. So I guess that's a really practical dream and also a vague one, but that would be the dream. And I guess I could benefit from defining it a little bit better. An essential item, Simon mentioned this, and of course then it influences the way that I answer the question, because realistically the phone is probably the essential item due to the communication and the things that it provides and allots for us in life, and I would be so disconnected from pretty much everybody that I know in a really severe sense if I didn't have that. So I'll start by saying phone because he nailed that one, and that's probably my essential item. If we're going to take it out, now that I've said that, I'll go for something that isn't a phone, or if that wasn't something, or if I just like, that being said, the next thing would be, I think, a book. But I guess in terms of being an essential item, you'd want to pick one book that is the essential item, but I think just a book itself would be an essential item. If I have a book, I think I'm always okay. It's just entertaining. I feel like I'm gaining something. It would have to be a good book, a book that I wanted to read or enjoyed, of course, but the next essential item would just be a good book at any given time. I enjoy reading. So that's that. Favorite RWS deck would be the traditional. Oh wait, I guess if we're gonna get specific about like editions and things, the Centennial to me is the favorite. I like the plaid backs, and I'll get to that in a second, but the backs of this to me just feel a lot older, and more of the Centennial feel a lot more traditional and archaic and classic, and the plaid backs to me feel kind of tacky and as though you're in an experience that isn't quite mystical, whereas these backs create that for me. Likewise, the coloring is just nicer and makes you feel like you're reading something that's an antique or vintage of some sort, and that it's come from this long lineage or history. So this is my favorite RWS deck, is the Centennial, and I think that that's a favorite for a lot of people, and it is for good reason, I should say. So next, oh, that made a loud sound. Favorite, gold or silver? Silver. If anybody here does watch my videos, you will notice that pretty much every piece I wear, like, this is silver, silver, silver. You guys probably have never even seen me in gold. The only gold pieces I have are, I have a gold necklace that's from my grandmother who gave it to my father, so I have it. But if I'm picking out pieces, it's silver. One, because I like the way it looks, and just as far as it looks on me and the types of things that I like to wear, I think silver kind of goes with the aesthetic or look that I create and enjoy as far as what's on me. And then also it's a little bit harder gold to be as soft, and especially in terms of rings, mostly rings. I like rings that are thick and that aren't going to get dinged or pushed or smushed and ruined by daily things, because I don't like to take them off. So durable rings, so first silver and then thick silver for rings, so that way I don't have to worry about them getting damaged easily. Next we have height. I am 5'9", maybe just a hair over it, and I like to say that I'm 5'10" on a good day. That's just like a little thing I say, but I think, well, with shoes technically I'm 5'10". I don't know why I'm deliberating this. I'm 5'9". So that's that. And then an ideal day for me would be, I think, one where I feel unrushed and as though there isn't anything that I even necessarily need or want to get done. So I can take my time, wake up when I do, maybe around 9 in the morning, have a nice relaxed breakfast, maybe even go out for breakfast by myself. Within the day at some point, I would definitely like there to be time where I'm spending having some social time with either friends or my family or both, but not for the entirety of the day. I think I'm someone who really enjoys having that time and then being alone. So maybe having a lunch or a gathering for maybe 2 or 3 hours in the afternoon so I can get to see them would be ideal. In the evening, maybe nestled up by a fire, reading with a hot cocoa or a tea. What else is there? Watching movies that I enjoy. I think an ideal day for me would actually be cloudy. I enjoy cloudy days. I'm trying to think. I think just a relaxing day when there isn't pressure to do anything other than exist and partake in things that I enjoy. That's ideal. Next, joke, funniest joke. I don't really tell jokes, at least not with punchlines in the traditional sense. I think that my friends and we joke around a lot, and that I'm laughing a lot, but there isn't really a joke that I can think of, and I think my humor is more situational, like when things happen. It's a lot of laughing at just life and experience as opposed to jokes that have been created, so I don't have any jokes that I can think of, and I don't really tell jokes, so I'm sorry. Kids, no. Living arrangements, I live at home with my family. I recently moved back with them after graduating, so that's my living situation with my mom and my dad, and kind of my sister when she's still in school, so she's there now, but she's home sometimes, so I guess I live with them, the four of us. Marseille Deck, favorite. And I know I can read Marseille, and it's not necessarily my favorite or where I'm placing a lot of emphasis and focus in my practice at the moment, but my favorite would be, and I'm just getting rid of the extra cards for ease, would be Le Tarot de Marseille par Polka. And I just really enjoy this one. The cardstock's nice, these are the backs, and Marseille for me, right as it stands, is not my favorite, but this one cracks me up. I think it's like the funniest thing. Something about it, I know it's gory, and that there's a lot in, this is like, I mean, it's such a nice card. It's such a nice moon card. But something about the gore and the sort of violence that's cartoon, this one cracks me up. It's all done in a way that's kind of humorous or kind of sardonic and a caricature of what it might be in terms of what it's signifying or the actual act. There's just something to it that makes me laugh more so in terms of what it means to be human, our mortality and life and death, and something about it just lightens me up, even though that's a really heavy topic. So actually I enjoy it for that, and I would just say that it's not a traditional Tarot de Marseille, but it considers itself one, and it kind of is one in a non-traditional sense, and I really enjoy it if I'm going to actually read Tarot de Marseille. So that's that. Nicknames. I don't have any serious nicknames. I actually don't like having nicknames that I'm referred to in a serious way. Like, I'm James and that's it. However, joking nicknames that are more so just meant to be funny, I don't have many of them either. I think I have like one made by my sister, and she'll call me Hamilton, and that kind of just it's odd how that came about actually, and I'm not entirely sure of the origin. I know it started when we were younger, and so there are a handful of people that will call me Hamilton, or she'll sometimes say Ham or Jam, things like that. But it's more so joking. But I don't have any nicknames that are more so what actually what people refer to me by in a normal sense. And I just like going by James. And as a kid, I would get so upset if anybody said or called me anything other than James. So that's that. We have nicknames. Oracle. Okay. Favorite Oracle deck at the moment is Sacred Symbols for Divination and Meditation Oracle deck by Marcella Kroll. And I've just been working a lot with sigils, magically speaking, and it's really nice to have them in a divinatory sense. I've used these in magical workings as well, so they're very multi-purpose, but there's something about the simplicity and sitting with these and the meditative purpose, like function that there is to them, and a lot of them draw from very old symbols and archetypes, and I've really been enjoying it. It's very accessible and easy to pick up. It's quite well rounded, so I've just really been enjoying this deck. So that's that. Put that guy back. If it will go back in the box properly. So that's that, and then we have Oracle, what I'm passionate about. That's tough. I mean, I'm passionate about social issues and justice and the idea of justice and everyone being fair and having certain things in life and just being good to people. So I guess passionate about, I'm going to give that an umbrella term of passionate about humanity. I'm passionate about tarot and oracle, of course, divination. I'm passionate about magic. And in being passionate about magic, I think I'm passionate about what it is that there exists, or our existence and life and consciousness, and this broad spectrum of what it means to be, and understanding that and hopefully getting a better grasp of that and then making the most of it. So all of those things, I guess I'm passionate about life, existence, consciousness. I'm passionate about reading, writing. Those were really more so weird things to be passionate about, but I'm also passionate about like reading, writing. I really like watching movies. I could watch movies all day. I'm passionate about food and coffee and those experiences that we create through dining and for ourselves and with others. So those are some things. A quote, and I said this in I think one of my very recent videos, and I say this all the time, it's by Theodore Roosevelt. What is it? Now I can't remember it. Comparison is the thief of joy. So just making sure that you aren't measuring yourself against others. That's a quote that I really enjoy and something that I tell myself often as somebody who suffers from that and looking all around me and wanting to observe and then actually internalizing it and starting to compare myself. Relationship status. I have a lot of nice relationships in my life, a lot of wonderful friends and family and people, so that is my relationship status. Season, favorite season. This has shifted a lot, and I used to, as a child, always say winter, and now I can't stand the cold. Physically, I get very cold very easily, and I don't do very well in those temperatures. I would venture to say that my favorite season would either be spring or summer. Summer when it's not sweltering heat, and spring when it's not too cool. So maybe that in-between period when we're transitioning from spring to summer. So both of those seasons, because I like the lush green, alive, waking up sort of feeling that you get. But I don't like when it's too hot either. So temperate weather, nice greenery, that's what matters for me. That's what I enjoy. Tarot first and last. My first tarot deck was the plaid back yellow box RWS, and just that. And then so that was the only deck I had for a bunch of years. And then my most recent, and I'm not 100% sure about this, but my most recent tarot deck I think was the Abyssal Tarot. This was a Christmas gift, and it came around that time, and I believe that this was the last tarot deck that I got with my depth urinal. But I had Oracle decks that actually came during January that I'd ordered at the end of December, but I think this is the last tarot deck I got. Okay. Upset. What upsets me the most? I think how I said I was passionate about humanity and fairness and rights, people's rights as humans. I think this is also a Sagittarius thing, hate when I feel trapped, whereas though something that I feel I should have is inhibited, and by what I feel I should have, I mean my freedom and agency. So I think that that's something that upsets me the most, and that's probably why I don't do well with authority. So in terms of myself and also for others, something that I get upset about when I see that being infringed upon, and that I think that they should have certain basic rights and ways of being able to function. And when that's inhibited, I get quite upset. Vlog. Which are you most proud of, and which is your most popular? So I guess I don't really have vlogs in the sense of like filming what I'm an experience, but videos I have. Wait, what is it? Which are you most proud of, and which is my most popular? My most popular is my VR to Natalia at Ouroboros, the Council of Seven. I can't remember. Yeah, the Council of Seven. That's my most viewed and the most popular. And then the one I'm most proud of, I think, is a recent video on getting out of magical slumps. I think that it's starting to go in a direction that I would like to see myself go in, and the way that I was able to encapsulate my thoughts felt like a progression from the ramblings that I used to do in earlier videos. So it was more so about progress for me as a communicator on camera, and also the direction that my channel's going in. Weakness, I think a weakness for me would be my anxiousness or nervousness and anxiety. That's something that I struggle with, and it holds me back a bit and causes me to not feel so comfortable in certain situations, or puts me in a place where I reject something and don't do something before I even really consider it. And so that it almost becomes fear in certain circumstances, which holds me back. And I think that that's a big weakness, because I think there are a lot of things that I could do and take advantage of and become, and avenues for me that would be available if I were to fully able to conquer that. Okay, X-rated. Tell us something naughty you've done. That's a tough one. I think the fact that it's a tough one either means that I'm just such a good person, or that there are too many things to choose from, so I'll let you decide which that is. Yesteryear. What is your favorite year so far, and why? Well, I like to think that I'm trying to make every year that I'm in the best year, so that's my mindset, that 2020 is going to be that best year, and I'm going to do everything in my power to make that be the best year. But in terms of my past and my memory, of course there's childhood, and I had a very good childhood, but there's not one year specifically there that I could pinpoint. As more so getting into adult years, I'm still a young adult, but I think, and this is something that maybe people will laugh at depending on Twitter and things, because I know that a lot of us, or my friends and I, joke about this, and there are memes about it, but 2016 being a really great year, it was really the first, it was where I really had just gotten started and going to university, going to college, and it ended when I was halfway through my second year, so it also encapsulated that first summer after that. And I think that that was just a really great time overall of new experience, of growth, of friendship. There was just a lot to be had during that year. And so when I think in terms of my past and specific years and events that I can pinpoint, 2016 was a great one. Okay, Zen, what do you do to relax and stay calm? I think the biggest thing I do to stay calm is to be alone. And I think that when I'm in circumstances where I'm not alone, it's a lot harder for me to calm down and find a centered space. I almost identify who my truest self is who I am when I am alone. And that anytime that I'm in the presence of someone else, even when I'm in the presence of this camera and I'm considering other people in terms of what I'm saying, that is a different version of me or some facet of myself that comes out. And my baseline and who I truly am is who I am when I'm alone. So the biggest way that I relax is to be alone. And I think tea is a really big one for me. I'm usually having tea at night or any time that I feel as though I'm not relaxed and trying to get relaxed. Baths, warm water of any sort, and submerging myself in that. So that's relaxing. Reading, watching movies, anything that is entertainment of a sort that stimulates my mind a bit in a way that is not anxiety inducing. So I'm not going to watch some psychological thriller to relax. I'd much rather watch a corny rom-com or something. I don't know. And yeah, so that brings us to the end, Z. So those are the 26 questions involved in Tarot Tubers A to Z. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and learned maybe something new or a few things about me. And I look forward to watching more of these. Thank you, Simon, at the Hermit's Cave, for giving us this wonderful tag for the community. So yeah, until next time, guys, bye.